by 3. Saratoga's next in mind over matter, and it is Saginaw. And a heads-up ride there by Junior Alvarado. Saginaw down the outside, coming hard. Fiddler's a Fleet and Saginaw. Fiddler's a Fleet and Saginaw. And the redoubtable Saginaw has just won his 20th race. Saginaw spurred on by David Cohen to a 3-length lead. Uncle T7 runs second. Be Bullish far outside. Mine over matter. Bandbox toiling at the rail. Saginaw cruising to the wire. And they're coming down to the final 100 yards, and Saginaw will get the job done here. Odds-on favorite cruises home.
Taking a look back at some of the highlights from Saginaw in his brilliant race career. Mac Crothers here in the TVG studios in Los Angeles. Welcome to the Morning Line. And most of you are aware of the really tragic situation yesterday at Saratoga, race number 3, involving Saginaw. We were so excited to see Saginaw do battle against another horse who's turned into a really good racehorse who was claimed in Caixa Electronica. And Saginaw was doing his thing. He was traveling in second. He was poised. He was sitting behind Bernie the Maestro, and all of a sudden Junior Alvarado went from being aboard a horse that was traveling beautifully to pulling up very abruptly. At that point on, you know, most of us can watch the remainder of the race. I believe Bernie the Meister ended up going on to win, beating Caixa Electronica. It was learned later on that Saginaw, the 7-year-old gelding, who was perfect this year, 5 for 5 in 2013, and a horse that, you know, last couple of years, the record just incredible. 15 for 19 going in to race number 3 yesterday. He fractured both sesamoids in his left ankle and had to be euthanized yesterday, a couple of hours after he was injured in race number 3 at Saratoga, a horse that was claimed for $30,000 by David Jacobson and Drawing Away Stable, March 8th of 2012, a horse that was 14 for 18 for his new connections, and a horse that really gave it his all every time out there on the racetrack. And, you know, over time, he was popular pretty much from the get-go, but over time, as he started to accumulate wins, as he started to win photos, win by a neck, show that guts and determination, he started not only having a following in New York, but it spread out nationally. So a sad day in racing. It's sad anytime a horse gets injured and has to be euthanized while competing in a race, but especially a horse like this in Saginaw. Tom Cassidy, Christina Bosanakis at Monmouth Park. And Christina, I'll begin with you because I guess you were there yesterday at Saratoga, and everyone must have been so upbeat going into the race. Then you see Saginaw pull up, but I did get to hear the reaction from the fans there as Saginaw, right after, you know, I think about 5 minutes after the incident, everyone applauding this racehorse. Talk about how you went from up here to down here, you know, in a matter of seconds.
I've been chatting about him. Obviously, there was the buzz about him because he's such a cool, older campaigner. And it was interesting. I was actually sitting up in the boxes, and as luck would have it, I was a few boxes, maybe about 4 or 5 boxes over from Todd Pletcher, who had Caixa Electronica in there, who was second choice, also taking money. And when Saginaw broke down, essentially, if you saw the reaction from Todd Pletcher, it was the reaction of a horseman. It wasn't of a competitor that, oh, all of a sudden, you know, that's going to be better for me. Like, he was gutted. The people around were gutted. It really was it was a huge downer. When they finally put the horse on the ambulance, he came by the stands. Everybody started applauding him because they knew he was in there. They knew, you know, they saw him moving around in there. So there was just, you know, they were that hope. But, you know, he was, like I said, he was such a tough older campaigner. He's carried 130 pounds before. Yeah. So we knew he could do it. He won 5 straight this year. So, you know, some people, there was, you know, there's always the rumbling underneath, or is he too old? Is he carrying too much? The horse did it all. So, you know, we take a chance walking across the street, you know, and it was an accident, and it's really unfortunate because he was a cool horse.
And Tommy, this horse had all the traits that we love, right? I mean, he had guts. He showed perseverance. He had incredible determination. the whole underdog story from where he came from. I mean, he had all the traits that we admire in a racehorse, didn't he?
And you know, Matty, he's the kind of horse where, you know, after each and every race, you know, I'm pretty sure it's, you know, one of us all said it. Wow, I would love to own a horse like this.
Yeah.
I would love to have a gelding who loves to just fight and win races and comes back and shows up time after time. And whether it's, you know, from off the pace or on the front end, if it's by a nose or by 9 lengths, he loves to get to the winner's circle. And it's just, you know, it's a tragedy. It really just it stinks. It really does. You know, it's the kind of horse where Saginaw's the kind of horse where, you know, in this day, and let me know if you disagree, Christina and Maddie, but in this day and age, I feel like there are not a lot of fan favorites, a lot of horses that don't really have a following, but Saginaw is one of the few who went from the claiming ranks to the stakes ranks and really developed a following and became a fan favorite, not only in New York, all across the country. I mean, people from California watching it, people in New York, obviously, all excited as well. You know, Saginaw is one of the few horses who went from the claiming ranks to being a fan favorite, and it's just, it really is, it's just a shame, and, you know, it's tough to see a nice old war horse like this go down like that.
Yeah, and, I mean, you know, you guys are probably much more into the world of, you know, Twitter and such, but, you know, I went on Twitter probably more than I normally do yesterday, and Twitter and Facebook, and just the reaction from people. I mean, it's what I expected for Saginaw, but maybe even a little bit more so. I mean, this was a pretty devastating thing for so many people in the industry. And if you're following a lot of racing people on Twitter or a lot of racing friends on Facebook, that's what you're seeing. That's the first thing you're seeing when you're going on Twitter, when you're going to your Facebook account, is people talking about how sad that they are because of what happened to Saginaw yesterday. So yeah, it's really impacted a lot of people. I'll send it back to you guys right now.
All right, Matty, and yeah, just you know, final thoughts here. Just it's tough, you know. It's not something that you know, nobody wants to see something like that, and you know, our condolences to the connections, and you know, we really feel for them, and you know, we feel for the 7-year-old gelding. It's just a tough way to go.
You know, and you're right. You're absolutely right. He was a fan favorite, and people thought it was very cool, you know, to see a horse like that. They enjoy seeing a horse like that. He just keeps winning. He's just such a tough campaigner, and it was just, you know, bad luck.
Condolences to the connections drawing away stable. David Jacobson was a co-owner and trained the 7-year-old gelding. Here's a look at his buyout. 21 for 41 lifetime, earned just shy of $1 million. The 7-year-old gelding Saginaw euthanized last night. Rest in peace, big guy.